The NBA officially unveiled its complete 75th anniversary team list of the greatest players in league history. Lots of guys you already knew they would be on there without a doubt. Your Jordans, Bird, Magic, Shaq, just to name a few. The list itself didn't feature a ton of surprises. Every player named to the top 50 of the league's 50th anniversary, they earned a spot. The remaining 26 was made up of a few retired players who did not crack that late 90s squad and a number of notable active players. But what about the guys who did not make the list, who should have? The snubs. Yes, let's begin with Air Canada, Mr. Vince Carter. This dude was impressive for 22 years during his prime. On top of the numbers, Carter left a cultural imprint on the game of basketball that few across history can match. Do you remember the dunk where he put his hand inside the rim? Or what about that Olympic dunk when he dunked over a 7-footer? Look, in his performance in the 2000 dunk contest is regarded or is known as the best one ever. But what about centers? Look, the best Spaniard to ever play the game was Pau Gasol. He was never as flashy as some of the legends who were named to the top 75, but he was consistent in the NBA for 2 decades. With steady contributions, come on, he was well-rounded and a two-way player who led to a lot of wins. And if it wasn't for Pau Gasol, guess what? I hate to say it, Kobe wouldn't have won those 2 titles because he was a big part of that Lakers team. And guess what? Bryant himself, he acknowledges that. And from Spain, we go to Argentina. Arguably, their best player is Manu Ginobili. And without a doubt, Manu was the greatest 6-man to ever play in the NBA. He played 14 seasons with Tim Duncan and a dynamic San Antonio Spurs squad that was full of Hall of Famers up and down. Look, Ginobili was exactly the change of pace San Antonio needed most games. And he helped secure plenty NBA titles. So, of course, he was also snubbed. Another big who did not make the list, and in his Orlando days, Dwight Howard, for 5 seasons, he was the best center the league had. Dwight was unstoppable on the offensive side and defensive side of the ball, and winning 3 Defensive Players of the Year and being 11th in rebounds and 13th in blocks. He is for sure one of the guys who definitely got snubbed. And finally, I know there's a lot of guys that we're going to miss out, but Tmac, he was affected by injuries all throughout his career. But look, the Hall of Famer made 7 All-Star teams and 7 All-NBA teams. He won 2 scoring titles, including that magical 2002-2003 season where he had one of the greatest offensive outputs of all time. After an 8-year run and injuries, basically drove McGrady out of the league at 32 years old. Had he played longer, his case obviously would have been stronger. I know, I'm leaving out guys like Grant Hill. Many of the guys come to mind. But look, these are the main snubs that I feel should have been part of the 75 greatest players in NBA history.